Hello, I'm Mrs. Sapp, and today we'll be reviewing first grade math. We're going to go back a little bit and compare numbers and do a little review with that. We'll also be doing some more addition and subtraction real-world problems. This will get you ready for second grade in the fall. Before we get started, let's watch Harry Kindergarten, and this is Rules of the Classroom. I know right now you're not in a physical classroom, but you're in Mrs. Sapp's virtual classroom. And let's review some rules that you're going to need to remember when you do go back as big second graders.
Hey boys and girls, do you remember the 6 rules of our classroom? Let's see if we can review them. The rules of the classroom, the rules of the classroom, the rules of the classroom make us safe and happy. Well, the first little rule has to do with our voice. If you have something to say, raise your hand and wait to speak. That's the respectful way. Well, the second little rule has to do with our feet, how we get from here to there. Walk in school, don't run or skip, you might trip over a chair. The rules of the classroom, the rules of the classroom, the rules of the classroom make us safe and happy. Well, the third little rule has to do with the heart. It's how we treat our friends. Be nice, don't be a bully now. Don't be mean to them. Well, the fourth little rule has to do with our bodies. Everything has its place. Keep your hands and feet to yourself. Don't touch your neighbor's space. The rules of the classroom, the rules of the classroom, the rules of the classroom make us safe and happy. Well, the fifth little rule has to do with our work. When it comes to it, and clean up all the time. Please don't leave a mess. Well, the sixth little rule has to do with our eyes. When a person talks in the school day, look at the speaker all the time. Respect what they have to say. The rules of the classroom, the rules of the classroom, the rules of the classroom make us safe and happy.
Now that you know the rules of Miss Sapp's virtual classroom, let's get ready and learn the objectives for today. I can compare 2-digit numbers with greater than, less than, and equal to. This is a review from the first couple of lessons. I can solve real-world addition and subtraction problems. We're going to put them all together and decide if we're adding or subtracting. I can use different strategies to solve real-world problems. Our code word for today is rainbow. Make sure you have your packet and a pencil or a pen to follow along with me as we go over these problems. If you don't have a packet, that's okay. Grab a piece of paper and something to write with. Let's review greater than, less than, and equal to with Learning for Kids.
Hi kids, I came out here to mow the lawn, but I keep getting chased by this funny math symbol. I think if I can learn about the math symbol, it will leave me alone. Do you think you can help me learn about this math symbol and comparing numbers? Thank you so much, I really appreciate this. Uh-oh, here he comes again. To start off learning, we are going to look at 3 symbols. Each one of these symbols are used to compare numbers. Some of these symbols may look familiar. For example, the sign on the bottom is an equal sign, and you have probably seen this before. Can you tell me what this symbol means? It means the same. That means whatever is on this side of the equal sign has to be the same as whatever is on this side for them to be equal. This symbol is the less than symbol. You can see how this symbol looks like a big alligator mouth. The less than symbol always has the big mouth facing the right side. The greater than symbol also has the same big mouth, but the mouth always points to the left. An easy way to understand these symbols and how we use them to compare numbers is to remember how we read. When we read a book, we read from left to right. We do the same when comparing numbers. We start from the left to right, and that helps us know which symbol to use. We are going to use these symbols to compare numbers. Here is the numbers 16 and 14, and we are going to compare the two numbers to see which symbol we should use. To help me compare, we are going to use base 10 blocks. The number 16 is made up of 1 10 and 6 ones. We have 1 tens block, which represents the 1 in the tens place, and 6 ones to represent the 6 in the ones place. For the number 14, how many tens blocks do I need? I need just 1 tens block. How many ones blocks do I need? I need 4 ones blocks. Great job, kids! Looking at these two numbers, which one is bigger? The 16 is bigger than 14. Knowing that 16 is bigger than 14, which symbol do we use? We use the greater than symbol. It helps to remember to read the problem from left to right. So we say 16 is greater than 14. The big mouth is always going to eat the bigger number. Here we have two more numbers to compare. We have 11 on the left and 11 on the right. To use our base 10 blocks to get 11, how many tens blocks do we need? 1. Awesome job. Now how many ones blocks do we need? We need just one of the ones blocks. Now for the number on the right side, it is 11 just like the number on the left, so we use the same amount of blocks. Many of you probably already know which symbol we will use. Can you tell me the symbol? The equal sign. Great job, kids! Reading from left to right, we say 11 is equal to 11. Awesome!
I hope you enjoyed that quick review for learning for kids. Now let's see if you remember how to compare these numbers with greater than, less than, or equal to. These are on your packet, so go ahead and decide which symbol to use. We have 12 and 9, 27 and 32, 8 and 8, 33 and 41. Give it a try. Let's see how you did. We should have had 12 is greater than 9. We always want to look at the greater place value first. 12 has a 1 in the tens place, which stands for 10. 9 doesn't have a 10, it only has ones. So we know that 12 is greater than 9. The alligator's open mouth is open to the 12. Here we have 27 and 32. We would read this as 27 is less than 32. If we look at our place value, let's look at the tens place first. We have a 2 in 27. It doesn't just stand for 2, it stands for 20. Then we have a 3 in the tens place for 32, which stands for 30. We don't even need to look at the ones place because we know that 20 is less than the 30. So we would read this as 27 is less than 32. Let's look at the next one. We have 8 and 8. we notice that these two digits are exactly the same. So we would say 8 is equal to 8. Last, we have 33 and 41. Let's look at the tens place first. You always want to look at the greater place value, and the greater place value is always going to be to the left. So we have a 3 in the tens place here, which stands for 30. 10, 20, 30. Over here in 41, the 4 doesn't just stand for 4, it stands for 40. 10, 20, 30, 40. We don't even need to look at the ones place because we know that 40 is more than the 30. So our alligator's mouth will be open to the 41. We would read this as 33 is less than 41. I bet you did just great. Now let's get into some more story problems. Again, today they're going to be all mixed up. We don't know if it's going to be addition or subtraction. We have to be detectives and look for those clue words. With addition, the ones you're probably going to see the most are in all together, total, combined. With subtraction, the ones you're probably going to see more are how many more, how much more, difference, left. Or if you ever see anything comparing like taller, shorter, farther. When you're comparing two things, we know that we're subtracting. So try to keep a lookout for these clue words so we know if we're adding or subtracting in these story problems. So let's try one. These are in your packet. And again, the clue word for today is rainbow. George and his mother decided to go to the movie theater on Saturday. George's kid ticket cost $8. His mother's adult ticket cost $10. How much money was spent in all on both tickets? I'm going to read this one more time, and I want you to visualize this in your mind. And instead of it being George, it could be you going to the movie theater with an adult. George and his mother decided to go to the movie theater on Saturday. George's kid ticket cost $8. His mother's adult ticket cost $10. How much money was spent in all on both tickets? Now there's a lot going on, a lot of words, so let's find out what's important. Circle the important things on your packet. First thing that's important is $8. $8 represents how much George's ticket cost. We should also circle $10. This represents how much his mother's ticket cost. Now, can you be a detective and find a clue word so we know if we're adding or subtracting? Do you see one? I know I do. In all is a clue word that tells us that we're going to be putting things together. We're going to be adding. But there's also another hidden key word in here. Can you spot it? Both. So we're not just looking at George's ticket or just the mother's ticket. We're looking at both of them together. We're combining, so this is an addition story problem. Now let's solve this story problem with different strategies. We have pictures, an equation, and a number line. Let's draw a picture first to represent how much money the kid's ticket cost. We know that the kid's ticket cost $8, so we should draw 8 circles. Again, we don't need to spend time trying to draw tickets, so we're just going to use circles. So we have 8 yellow circles to represent how much money the kid's ticket cost. Now we know that the adult ticket cost $10, so we need to draw 10 circles. Here we have 10 purple circles to represent the adult ticket. If you don't have different colors to use, that's fine. You can always draw a line to divide your pictures. Now let's make an equation to go along with this story problem. We know that we're combining, we're doing in all, so we're going to be adding. We're going to take the kid ticket, which was 8, and the adult ticket 10, and put it together to make an equation with an addition sign and an equal sign. This is what it should look like. 8 plus 10 equals. Now, we could spend time and count up all of these dots, but that would take us a while. So let's use the strategy of counting on. We're going to put the greater number in our head, 10, and count up 8. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And I guarantee if you were to count all of these circles, you'd end up with 18 as well. We can also use our number line strategy. Since we're adding, we are going to the right of our number line because our number is getting greater. We're going to start at the 10 and make 8 hops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we landed on 18. So whether we used a picture, counted on with an equation, or use a number line, we should have $18. That's how much money they spent in all combined. And don't forget to label your story problem with dollars so we know what you're talking about. Let's try another one. This is still with George at the movie theater. Again, real world story problems can happen all around you. This could happen to you. Before the show, George spent $13 on popcorn and $6 on candy. How much more money did George spend on popcorn than candy? This time I want you to close your eyes and visualize this. Instead of it being George going to the movie theater, it's you going to the movie theater with an adult. And you're at the concession stand buying popcorn and candy. So close your eyes as I read this and listen for those clue words and what's important. Before the show, George spent $13 on popcorn and $6 on candy. How much more money did George spend on popcorn than candy? There's a lot going on in our story problem, so let's find out what's important. We should circle $13 in our packet. This represents how much money he spent on popcorn. That's some pretty expensive popcorn. Then we should circle $6. This represents what he spent on candy. Now we need to be a detective and look for those clue words. Are we adding or are we subtracting? Story problems aren't going to just tell you what to do. You have to figure it out. Do you spot any clue words in here that might tell us if we're adding or subtracting? Do you see it? The phrase, how much more, lets us know that we need to subtract. We are comparing how much money was spent on popcorn versus how much was spent on candy. Also, the word than tells us we're comparing. So again, how much more and than should be those clue words that pop out at you that we're subtracting. Now let's solve this with different strategies. We're going to use a picture, an equation, and a number line. Let's draw a picture to represent how much he spent on popcorn and on candy. This represents how much he spent on his popcorn. There should be 13 circles because he spent $13 on the popcorn. Now let's draw circles to represent how much he spent on candy. Again, you can do this in a different color or just draw a line to separate your drawings. We should have 6 circles to represent candy. Now let's think of an equation that will go with this. We want to know how much more he spent on the popcorn than on the candy. and we see that we need to take away 6. So I put 6 X's up on the popcorn, and you can do that in your packet as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would get rid of the amount of money spent on the candy. And then we can clearly see however many green circles are left over is how much more money he spent on that popcorn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's the equation to match. 13 represents how much money he spent on the popcorn. We use a minus sign because we're comparing popcorn to candy. We're subtracting 6 because we want to tell the difference between the candy and the popcorn, so 6 represents the candy. Let's look at this on a number line. Again, we always want to start with the bigger number. And since we're subtracting this time, we're going to go to the left, and left means less. We're taking 6 jumps to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which would give us a total, or actually a difference of 7, because we have 7 more dollars spent on the popcorn than on candy. Now before you try one on your own, let's get our sillies out, shake a little bit, and let's do If You're a Kid by Harry Kindergarten, Animal Remix.
Boys and girls, this song is about animal sounds and animal movements. So listen and see if you can follow my animal directions. But get ready, because later on, it's dancing time. If you're a boy, if you're a boy, moo like a cow. If you're a girl, if you're a girl, gallop like a horse. If you're a boy, if you're a boy, stomp like an elephant. If you're a girl, if you're a girl, meow like a cat. If you're a kid, dance around, dance around. If you're a kid, dance around, dance around and stop. If you're a boy, if you're a boy, bark like a dog. If you're a girl, if you're a girl, waddle like a penguin. If you're a boy, if you're a boy, roar like a lion. If you're a girl, if you're a girl, buzz like a bee. If you're a kid, dance around, dance around. If you're a kid, dance around, dance around and stop. If you're a boy, if you're a boy, growl like a bear. If you're a girl, if you're a girl, jump like a kangaroo. If you're a boy, if you're a boy, snap like a crab. If you're a girl, if you're a girl, hoot like an owl. If you're a kid, dance around, dance around. If you're a kid, dance around, dance around and stop. Let's do it one more time. If you're a kid, dance around, dance around. If you're a kid, dance around, dance around and stop.
I hope you're able to get up a little bit and shake those sillies out. Let's take 2 deep belly breaths to get us calm, alert, and ready to learn. In through your nose and out through your mouth. 1, 2. Now here's a story problem that you're going to try on your own. I'm going to read it once, and then it's your job to circle any important information and underline any clue words that you might see. While at the concession stand, George saw 11 friends going into the theater to find their seats. He then saw 4 friends going into the restroom. How many friends did George see total? Go ahead and encircle important information and read it one more time to make sure you really understand what the problem is asking you. Let's see if you circled all the important information. You should have circled 11 friends. This represents how many went into the theater to find their seats. We should have also circled 4 friends. These represent the friends who were using the restroom before the movie started. Now let's see which clue words you underlined to let us know if we're adding or subtracting. We should have underlined total. Total should jump out at you and let you know that we're adding. We're combining these friends because we want to see how many in all or total that George saw at the movie theater. Now let's solve this with different strategies. Make sure you do this in your packet, and again, the code word for today is rainbow. You're going to draw a picture, write an equation, and do it on the number line. Let's see which picture you drew. We have 11 circles to represent the friends that he saw going into the movie theater. We have 4 orange circles to represent how many he saw going into the restroom. Again, if you don't have different colors, just draw a line. Let's write an equation to go with this. We have 11 plus 4. We're adding because we want to know how many there are in total. Let's start with 11 and count up 4. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You can also use your number line. Start at the larger number, 11, and since we're adding, we're going to the right. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So he saw a total of 15 friends. Here's an extension activity you can do at home. On the back of your packet, make up your own story problem, addition or subtraction, be creative. Make sure you use a keyword, write your equation, draw a picture, and solve it yourself, or have a friend or family member do it. I'm Mrs. Sapp. This was first grade, reviewing comparing numbers and addition and subtraction problems.